Welcome back to the Co-OpCast. I'm Carter CDC here with Soy Sauce and the Baron 72. We're here back at you guys once again with another episode. And I think this is going to be a pretty interesting episode in my opinion. Pretty cool news update for you guys who are up to date with gaming news nowadays. We're going to talk about something that just was announced this week. But before we get into that, how are you guys doing?
Great, my man. Finals week. Gonna be done with school. My last test is tomorrow. For you guys listening, my last test was yesterday, and I'm super excited because that's my last test ever here in Rexburg at BYU,
oh my
Idaho.
goodness!
I'm outie.
Nice. Yeah, I bet that feels really good. Just getting out of there.
Man. On to student teaching, bigger and better things.
Is it bittersweet at all, or just all sweet?
Was that?
Is it bittersweet at all, or all sweet?
It's basically all sweet. I'm kind of tired of this place. Ready to move on in my life.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I was tired of that place after a year.
For the last 6 months, I've just been feeling like I've been stuck in this part of my life in school and stuff like that. And it's just I want to move on to my career and on with the rest of my life. Rexburg's starting to feel like that for me. Is just I'm stuck here. I'm never gonna leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, imagine the people that live there, professors and. Ugh.
Well, I mean, if you actually have a job here and you're actually doing stuff, you are progressing your life. You're doing that. If I got a job here and I was starting to make money and I was starting to do things, that'd feel different. But to me right now, it just feels like when I'm here, I feel like I'm just in the school grind. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I feel that.
I couldn't live in a college town though, man. I couldn't do it. My opinion. So many people coming and going, but no, It's fine.
For sure. Other update, I bought Skyward Sword. The HD remake came out last Friday on the 16th, and I've already put in about 2 or 3 hours, beat the first dungeon and everything, and all I gotta say is it's still Skyward Sword. I think I appreciate it more now compared to back in the day, because I'm actually reading the dialogue and I'm actually getting into the story and everything. Because it doesn't feel 100% like others. It doesn't feel similar to others other games, but I've been enjoying my time.
Right. I think it made it available for a lot of people who didn't get the chance to play it. Because it's kind of a weird time that it came out, and you had to have the whole adapter thing for your Wii remote.
Yeah.
Now everybody owns a Switch, pretty much that wants to have one.
Yeah, and it's really good for me because I never beat it. My older brother did. He beat it, and I only did some of the side missions for him. So it's actually kind of cool to be able to go back and play the game I didn't really get to play. So
nice. We'll have to do a review on it when you finish it, or you can give us what your final thoughts are.
I feel like it's I don't know. I feel like it's just gonna be it's Skyward Sword. If you don't know, just go play it.
Yeah. The only thing I know about that game is I really love the final boss. He looks sweet.
Yeah, it looks super fun. Can't wait to get there.
For sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Sawyer? How's your week?
What happened last weekend?
You went camping, right?
Oh yeah, went camping. That was fun. I mean, just camping, man. And both my arms. My first night there, I woke up. I was like, my whole body's sore. Why the crap? And then the second night sleeping, I was like, it's because I'm sleeping on the ground. I'm getting older. Where before it never bugged me, but now I gotta adjust to it. It sucks sleeping on the ground.
Yeah. My wife's actually leaving tomorrow to do this girls' camp outing for two nights there. And she's never really camped before.
Really?
Oh,
so she's going to have an experience.
Bring a cot. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, she is.
Okay,
but then again, I'm like, really? Your first experience camping, you're bringing a cot? You got to try it on the ground first time, man. Then you got to take the cot out, and then you'll appreciate it.
Yeah. First night on the ground. It reminds me of we have so many camping stories. We should do an episode on that because we did the Boy Scouts. But it reminds me of when you and I were in the tent. One of our leaders was we thought they just like we set up tents and we didn't know whose tents were whose, so we just got into one. And
I don't know why we thought that was just our tent.
Yeah, we're like, let's just go to this tent. And then one of the leaders whose tent it was, he came over and was like, who's in my tent? And what did he say? Do you remember the exact words of what he said?
He's like, why are you guys in my tent? And then he like peeked his head into the door of the tent and you could smell like, I think one of us just farted like that minute.
20. I feel like we're farting the whole time, so it's just like a hot box in there.
Yeah.
He said something funny when he like smelled. He's like, "Oh my!"
He's like, "You guys can keep the tent."
Yeah.
I'll find somewhere else.
That's so funny.
Oh man.
Yeah,
It's been a long time.
Yeah, a lot of stories.
My week was good. The day we're recording this, the 19th, we just finished the cherry season this year, and it was pretty lower. Like, it wasn't as good as other years, but we have insurance, so we're fine. And everyone around the area was also suffering with a lot of damage, so it's just one of those years. So we'll see what happens next year. And on to hay and apples now. So it's a good time of the year that we're like, you don't have to worry about cherries anymore.
Yeah, kind of get to slow down a little bit, but still keep going.
Yep. It's not over yet, but it's definitely past the hard part.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
What was damaging this year?
It's funny because normally my dad's always worried about the rain and the wind, and it wasn't really that rainy at all.
Yeah.
We only went out once to blow off rain. That was like way at the beginning, like a month ago. And then sometimes it'll be really windy, and I think that happened like twice, so it wasn't that bad. But what was really bad was that Pacific Northwest heat wave. That just killed everything.
Yeah.
Even like people's fields and gardens and stuff. That heat wave just destroyed all of our cherries. Just shriveled up and soft, and the stem got all dried out. So we took what we could get, and we move on.
So who like checks to make sure what's sellable and not? Do you guys have a guy
sell
like a
it
quality?
to a packing place, like a company that will pack the fruit for us and send it off to like Asia and Australia and stuff. And they roll each cherry through like this conveyor belt that takes thousands of pictures in every second. And it's like an X-ray. It'll like check even the inside of the cherry if there's any faults, and it can even tell if the cherry's like really squishy and soft, and it'll just throw it out if it's not good enough. So there's days like where we'll get an email where it's like, oh, that truck of 120 bins, only 59% of the cherries made it through and the rest were thrown away. So we pay all the pickers for all the fruit that they pick and all that fruit we send out, and we only get paid for the 59% of those cherries. So
interesting.
Some days it's like 59%, some days it's up to like 80, but it averages around 60-70%. So it kind of sucks because you pay so much money to get them picked, and you only get paid for the cherries that they decide to keep.
Yeah.
So, but it's still high risk, high reward. You get really good years and you get really bad years. You take what you can get.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Well, do you want to jump into our topic?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Let's do it.
I'm excited to talk about this because I'm a big Steam fan.
Yeah.
But not really a big fan of their products. I'm a fan of their games.
Far. We'll see.
I like their games like Left 4 Dead and Counter-Strike, and I've never really played Dota and a couple other games that they have. I like Portal, but I don't like the products they make.
Yeah.
But they just announced a new console, pretty much, a new controller that's a portable device.
A competitor in the handheld world. We'll see if it actually pans out. If you guys don't know what we're talking about yet, it's the Steam Deck. If you haven't heard of it, go look it up. It looks pretty interesting. I'm actually kind of excited to see like the reviews and stuff that come out from it.
Mm-hmm. And
For sure.
I've talked with my brother about it, and he's said he's gonna get it. So they've got a customer.
Really?
Yeah, Calvin's gonna get it.
Cool.
So they got one customer.
Nice.
Oh, they're getting plenty of customers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
I'm not gonna
They're
get
gonna
it
sell
until
out.
there's reviews because like, there's no point. I don't know. I feel like Steam's such built on PC gaming that like I don't see how it's gonna be super super good when I'm not on my desktop. So
Yeah.
time will only tell.
I would recommend it for people who want to get into PC gaming that don't want to spend too much money and are just kind of in a budget build. Unless you're really big into using a controller for your Steam games and you are on the go all the time, then yeah, that as well. But for me, I would never use it. I'm really hyped about it and I'm really excited for it, but not for myself. Just that it exists. I'm glad that it exists.
Yeah.
I don't like the only time I ever game on the Switch when it's not like in the port for the TV is only when I'm traveling, and usually when I'm traveling I forget about it, so I don't do it that often. So I don't think I have a place for it in my life either.
No. Like looking on my life, I feel like as a teenager, if I know I wouldn't have gotten it if it came out back then, but like knowing what I know now, to pair it with an Xbox, it would be perfect to be able to have a nice portable game to play with. Because I kind of was getting out of Pokemon and Nintendo DS by that time, so I feel like this would have been sick as a kid. But for what I'm doing in my life, I don't think I'd get it yet. I still need to be decided on.
Like I think this would be super solid for a high schooler. Because how much, like, especially if you came from a school that we did where you're traveling all the time on buses and just going different places, and you're kind of gamers like we are, like it'd be nice to have it. So
I spent an hour and a half on the bus every day, going from my house back to my house after school. So I play a lot of my DS on the bus ride. But yeah, this would be sick if you are in that situation that I was in.
I don't know. It's so different though. Like we used to just have our DSs and just snap them shut and throw them in our jeans pocket and don't worry about it. But with this thing, you're holding like a $500 gaming PC.
Like
you can't just
console.
like put it in your pants or your pocket. You can't just throw it somewhere. You have to be so careful with these things nowadays because everything is so expensive and just like I don't know. A DS is so durable. I feel like you could just like throw it on the floor and it won't do it. It won't break. But
like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I feel like when you turn this thing on, the vents are just it's gonna sound like a.
I want to know. Yeah, I want to know the sound, man. How loud it's gonna be.
Yeah,
gotcha. That's what I think Nintendo's really good at. Because don't they have like a Switch Lite that's a little cheaper? And
yeah, they do.
Yeah, like I feel like they're good at making like their big product lately, but then also making a more affordable like version of it. Like when the 3DS came out, the 2DS, and things like that. Because that is completely true. Back in the day, get your SP, you like slam it shut because you're a 10-year-old kid and don't care, and just throw it in your backpack. Like,
yep. And they were like $100 probably for a new Game Boy.
Oh yeah,
5 times more.
Like that's why for Christmas, like you could get multiple of them for your kids because it's like either get each one of them one of these or try to convince them all to get one console. So, yeah.
So while we are talking about our concerns, I've pulled up, I think, 3 of them, in which I can announce them to us. First off, I'll start with the size of it. So it's about the Switch is about 1 pound, a little less than a pound, which I felt, and that feels good. But this is about 1.5 pounds, so it's gonna be quite a bit heavier. And then you look at the size; it is a couple inches wider and 1/2 inch taller, and considerably thicker. So it's gonna be quite a bit bigger than the Switch, which I fully expected going into it, since they talked about the specs of it and how it runs like a Xbox One and a PlayStation 4. So I kind of, we expect that. It's going to be a little hefty. But do you think that's going to play a role in it? The size?
I think so, a little bit. Because, like, even for me, when I play Switch on handheld, it still feels awkward because you have the whole screen in between your hands, and then you have these tiny little 2 controllers that are kind of just that you kind of have to like turn your hands completely sideways and like use your thumbs like super.
It's like your fingers fall flat against the backside of it.
Yeah, I feel like a Lego man when I'm using them.
Weird.
So if they can make the handles better to be able to be better to use, like then it could be more comfortable. But I just feel like there needs to be a better way, and it might be like old games where you have your like flip up and you have your controller underneath it and you have your screen on top, like the SP and like the DS and things like that.
Pretty perfect design.
Because like those felt comfortable in my hands, but like when I play the Switch handheld mode, like my thumbs start to get like tired because of the awkward position they're in for the joysticks and stuff. So, and looking at the Stream Deck, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, look.
Although
the A, B, X, and Y and the buttons look really small on the sides, the very top on the top like corners.
And just put your hands how it's like looking. Like think about like your thumbs going like straight up 90 degrees to try to press those 4 buttons.
Hyperextended, like, man.
Yeah, you're hyperextending them up. Where at least the Switch, you actually can have that range of motion down and have the Lego man look.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
What do you think of the touchpads on them?
On the Switch?
On the Steam Deck. There's 2 little squares on both sides.
Yeah.
Like a touchpad for like a laptop.
I didn't even see that. I didn't even notice.
It gives me...
They have that on the Steam controller, and
I was going to say that. It gives me nightmares about the Steam controller.
Yep.
That's going to be the same thing. But who knows?
I would never use it.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Maybe to scroll if I'm like browsing the internet.
That's it. Yeah, that's the only thing.
But like if you're browsing the internet, pull out your dang phone. Like again, this might be directed towards teenagers and stuff, but it's $400. So like what teenager is going to get it? Like I don't know.
Right. I wonder if you can connect to like an Oculus Rift to it.
Oh yeah.
Play your VR games on it.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
For sure. Who knows? But yeah, I don't think a half pound is going to make it like talking about size wise, like the extra screen space is going to be awesome. Yep. But I don't think the extra half pound is going to make it any more awkward. So that's about it for me. Like, I think making it a little bigger to have that better like experience with it is better, and the half pound is kind of necessary for that.
Yeah, I'd definitely take the size over for the power you get.
It's just looking at those freaking buttons on the right. I just am looking at the picture of it. It just looks like I'm gonna get arthritis, like just pressing those 4 buttons.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you guys. If you both had one, what games out of your Steam library would you play with it, with the controller? If you like the mouse and keyboard, what are you willing to play on it with the controller joysticks?
Yeah,
you can't play Counter-Strike.
See, that's a great question. Because
you can play Valheim, but you're used to the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, but I think that's the good thing about the Steam Deck. That is one of the thoughts that makes me like interested in it. Is on the Steam Deck, I would play different games that I'm not even I'm not going to play the same games on my Steam Deck necessarily that I play on my PC, except the ones that I'm really into, like a game we'll talk about in the future. But it'd give me some room to want to experience other games I haven't played, if that makes sense. Maybe some more games that are suited for a portable version, you know?
Gotcha. Yeah, I get you. Like, that's such a tough question for me. Holy crap, can I say tough? That's a tough question for me because the Steam doesn't have like they have big name games and stuff, but like if I'm gonna play those big name games, I'm thinking of playing them on my computer or on like a TV.
Yeah.
To be able to like fully experience it. Whereas Nintendo, they have those games that you kind of expect to play on the handheld version because that's kind of the way you want to experience it. So I don't know. I don't know what game I would play.
Like I know for a fact I would play Stardew Valley. You know, I would definitely play that.
Oh, that would be a good one.
If I had just some time in the car or just if I'm just at the house doing something on the couch while my wife's watching TV or something, I would sit there and play Stardew Valley for sure.
Yeah, like any indie game would probably be really good.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of games. Like you'd probably be a little more tempted to spend $5 on a cheaper game that would be suited for a portable version that you normally skip over because you don't think you'd want to play it on your sit at your table sitting at your desk playing it with a keyboard and mouse,
For sure.
So I think it's going to expand your library.
Gotcha.
Because
here's what I would do.
Oh, sorry.
So one thing that I wanted to talk about what the Steam Deck can do is it's not limited to just Steam. You can actually download Windows, and what people are talking about on the internet is that you can play emulators. And so what I would do is I would download a GameCube emulator and just play a huge library of GameCube games on it.
That'd be sick. That's a good point.
That's
I didn't think
what I'd
about
probably do the whole time. You could play any GameCube game on the go. That's like what we've dreamed about as kids.
I wonder if Nintendo would find out about it and try to file a lawsuit. But I doubt it because it's an emulator.
If we did it on PC, it's the same thing as doing it on a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Steam doesn't
For sure.
Isn't responsible for that, I would think.
Yeah. I don't know. That is crazy. Maybe, yeah. Maybe I'll get one and just get every Pokemon game in the world. Like
speed them all.
Get Mario Kart, Zelda Wind Waker,
everything.
Smash Bros, Melee.
So that'd be smart because those games don't require much storage. That's another problem. Here's a quote. So he says, "I highly doubt the Steam Deck will be a public flop, but I can imagine a few reasons the PC gaming community won't embrace it. For instance, it's largely priced like a next-gen console with only a fraction of the performance. And then with the $399 base model, it only comes with 64 gigabytes. So that, so stop the quote, but thinking that can't play Warzone, that can't play Call of Duty. Most AAA games are above that, or like right around that mark. So you're going to be able to have one game if you're going to buy the base model, which is $400, which is right around the price of a Series X or PlayStation 5. And then like the PlayStation 5 and Series X are able to take advantage of the faster load times, which this will not be able to do because to expand it, you need a freaking micro SD card, which expands your storage, but it's not going to, but the speed of it's going to slow it down because you need, like on the Series X, it has a great expansion card, which is SSD and really quick, which this is not going to have. So I have concerns that any true gamer I don't see is going to want to pay the base model because the 64 gigs ain't going to cut it for most games, So looking at the more expensive ones, let's look at those.
Well, I think the 64 gigabytes is a hard drive, and then when you upgrade it to either the next one or the one after that, it's a SSD.
Gotcha. Well,
oh, you're right. Yeah.
If you guys are talking about the 64 gigs, like, let's go back to the thought that you had, Sawyer, is like, I'm not going to be playing Warzone, and I'm not going to be playing those games on it. If we're going to go with that kind of base model of thinking, I'm going to be playing indie games, like, how many gigs is Stardew Valley? It can't be more than, like, 10, can it?
I don't think it's a gigabyte.
Like, I have no clue how much space it is.
Yeah.
So, like, those are the kinds of games that, if those are going to be the kinds of games that you're going to be playing on this handheld version of Steam, then why not? Like, 64 gigs is plenty of room for those indie games.
Yep.
Like, I can think of 3 indie games that I'd download right in the second and play it right now. If that's what I was going to buy this for, was to play smaller games on the go, I'd buy that and a couple other indie games that I could think of. And the reason I'm not saying them is just in case we do an indie game episode.
Yeah. But I think
Stardew
part of
Valley
the problem...
is half a gigabyte, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But
for how many hours I put in that game for half a gigabyte?
I think what's the problem, though, is they are marketing it to be a portable computer that can run all the big-name games,
Yeah, that is a problem.
So even if the 256 gigabyte one, which is SSD now, which comes with the carrying case apparently, is $529. So that's more money than a Series X.
It's more than, like, the newest model of, like, virtual reality stuff.
Yeah, that's freaking expensive, and 256 gigs. Freaking Warzone's 100 gigabytes. Like, that's the biggest game right now. And that'll take up half your storage for $529, which, I don't know. I could see that being a bottleneck in the Steam Deck, since they are marketing it towards, hey, you can play any game on Steam on here, but really you're gonna have to pay a pretty penny to do, and really
to get more storage to actually make it work.
Yep.
That I don't know. If they did market it towards smaller games and more variety of games, I don't know. I think they're just trying to make it as appealing as they can, so they can sell as much as they can. Because like I don't bag them for like marketing towards the big name games and stuff like that, because that'll encourage some people to buy it. Like you're doing it right. So I don't know.
I agree. The other thing though is the battery life. So here's a guy from IGN. He said the battery life is about 2 to 8 hours, depending on what you're doing. So you can play Portal 2 for 4 hours. If you limit it to 30 FPS, you're going to be playing. But if you limit it to 30 FPS, you're going to be playing for 5 to 6 hours. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of limiting on this thing, like cutting back on the settings that they promise. This can run 60 FPS. It can run 720p. I feel like you're going to be cutting a lot of that out to get your more battery life.
Unless you're not handheld and you plug it into the wall.
That's true.
Play it with it plugged in. Then it defeats the whole purpose of having it. So they're not following up on that promise. How long is the Switch's battery life? Do you know that? Because I feel like it's somewhere in there too. Like 2 to 4 hours is a long time to play a game portably.
Yeah.
Let me look it up real quick. If you hear typing, sorry.
While you're looking that up, I just appreciate it for what it is right now. It's the first generation of its product. Just think of the Apple Watch first generation to what the Apple Watch is today. Mm-hmm. And if this goes well, then they'll make a better version of it later and better version after that. And 5 years from now, we'll have a Steam Deck that's 10 times better than what this one will be.
Yeah.
But that just depends on how good it does on release.
It does, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the Switch has 2.5 to 6.5 hours of battery life when it's not plugged in, like when it's handheld. So like when we think 2 to 8, and yes, you might be limiting some factors and stuff, but say you're not limiting it and you still have an hour of prime time gaming with it, that's still quite a bit of time for a handheld thing. Because I think the longest I've ever played on handheld was like 4 hours on a car ride, and then we were like super into Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah.
Those are good times, man.
They were, man. That was a good like month and a half of my life.
Yeah, man.
So I guess talking about all these, I mean, we're just talking about the negatives right now. I mean, there's obviously a lot of positives. I think it's just a great idea in the first place. But like, what would compel you guys to buy it?
If I didn't have my computer.
If I had a 7-year-old kid. Like literally, if I had a kid that already knew like some of the games that he liked on the computer and stuff like that, and if I can get him off the computer and me on it, like thinking of being a future father and thinking of those fathers out there, like, here, take the Steam Deck so I can play my freaking games, man. Get out of here. Just kidding. But no, I think what would compel me to buy it now, I don't know, man. Because I have everything I want. Like I have Steam on my PC and I have my handheld. I have too many games that I'm trying to cycle through right now. So, I don't know. What would compel me.
I would say if you are a traveler, if you go on the plane all the time or in the car, and you are a gamer who likes to play the Steam games that are used with the controller, like if you play Counter-Strike and you can't really play League of Legends with it.
No.
So
you're just going to be too slow clicking.
A competitive gamer like that, it won't really work for you. But if you're on the go and you like those casual games, indie games, anything that would work with a controller, it'd work for you. But if you're not really traveling and you're just home and you have a nice computer, I don't see the reason why you'd get it.
Good point, man.
Yeah.
Miss Sam.
It'd be awesome to use on the plane.
Oh yeah.
that would be.
Like,
Just plug it in.
I was kind of joking with the 7-year-old thing, but like literally if you're younger and you do travel on the bus and you do have these things, like it would be awesome. But for me, where I'm at in my life, I just don't know what I'd use it for. It'd be in the corner gathering dust.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
Like I said, I'd use it for emulators.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, and if it was good at like running those emulators, like if they didn't crash all the time and stuff, because I remember there was like emulators on the phone back when smartphones were first trying that, and they'd crash all the time. So if it can run emulators, maybe, because like being able to go back and get some of the games you used to enjoy because you just don't have them anymore would just be so awesome. Like, I don't know. But I think it's such a positive thing in the gaming world right now. Like something to kind of push competition with handheld gaming. Because the only one doing it right now is Nintendo, and I think they need to be pushed a little more to keep their game up, because we talked about some of our gripes with them in a past episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just like where it's going.
I could even see Sony and Microsoft coming out with their own version in the next couple of years.
If it does well.
There'd be this whole portable gaming war in the next decade.
Yeah.
I think that's what's scary, though, is like we've seen portable gaming come and go, and it seems like they always fail, except Nintendo. And it seems like just like your phone and the Nintendo are the only things that have survived. So it makes me worry for it, but maybe they will have something different that'll keep it going. I don't know.
Well, and I don't know if you'd necessarily call them fails, because like the PSP was awesome.
That's true. It lasted a long time.
But
like,
what
why
I
they
think
stopped,
the PSP. Well, I think it's because they were focusing more on like the PS4 and PS5. I don't know why they stopped. I'm not Sony, but when that PSP was coming out, just remember how many like innovations Nintendo had with like the DS, 3DS, like all the different like apps and things you could use. And then they came out the Switch. Like, I don't know. I feel like when you have something in the world to be able to compete with, even if it isn't going to be that great, like this could flop, it's still something that Nintendo could compete with, and both of them are going to grow from it.
Yeah. So looking at an article here, says the reason why the PS Vita completely failed. So it looks like it just got outpriced by the 3DS.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe Nintendo is just undercutting everyone else.
It was portable king.
Yeah.
Well, and there is a reason why they don't put the better processors and stuff in it, is to keep it cheap. Like,
people will buy it if it's cheaper.
Yep, they'll buy it if it's cheaper, and heck, everybody needs Mario and Zelda in their life. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
The Trinity.
Why change it if it's not broken, right?
The gaming Trinity.
Yes.
All right. Well, anything else to say about the Steam Deck?
Like you guys said, I just think it's healthy for the gaming environment. I'm excited to see what people say about it. I'm excited when it comes out to see people review on it. I'm just excited because I know I'm not going to spend my money on it, so I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, happens.
Well, and who knows? Maybe in a year or two, it might blow up and we have to go get one. Who knows? Because like, if it becomes out, if it comes out to be a super big success and we find like good uses for it, then I just don't know what those uses are going to be. So I'm hesitant.
Dude,
Plug
Carter,
my headphones on and record an episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
With the amount you're on a tractor, you might as well get one.
Yeah, man. Sometimes I'll get into a mobile game during the middle of the season just because I can play it. But yeah, I was thinking about doing that with the Switch last year, but I never did.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
So none of us are planning on getting it, right?
No.
Not now.
Within the first month or two? No.
No, definitely not. But we'll see.
No place in my life for it right now.
I just like
We'll
in
have
my
to
life.
ask your brother what he thinks when it comes out.
Yeah,
An
yeah.
Episode with him.
For sure.
For me, it's a hard thing because if I'm gonna get a portable device, see, like since I have a computer, I can play mostly all Xbox and then all of computer games, right? But the thing I miss in my life is Nintendo, which I can't get. So if I'm gonna put money into a portable gaming, it's definitely gonna be Nintendo branded, so I can get the other half of gaming that I miss, you know? So it's just a really hard thing for me in my situation. But like as we've said throughout this whole thing, I think there's a great place for a lot of people. And back in my past, it would have been great for me. But at this point, if I would put money into portable, it'd have to be a Switch, man. Like I'm missing out on half the collection of video games because I don't have a Nintendo thing, you know. So there's just no way I would be like a more expensive. Because if I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get the $500 one. Because there's no way in heck I'm gonna buy the basic model.
Yeah.
Just in terms of storage.
Useless.
Yeah. So in my head it'd be like, how much does the Switch cost again? Is it $350?
I don't know.
$350.
Yeah, $350. There's no way I would be like, oh, I'm gonna pay $560 for the Steam Deck and miss out on the $350 Switch. Like, not a
Yeah,
chance.
because you could buy a $350 Switch and then buy how many games with it? Like,
Exactly. And I'd
till
like
you
to
get
play
the
all
device.
those. Yeah, I don't play any of them because I don't have a Nintendo thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
The one
that's
thing
it.
is that Steam has really good sales, and Nintendo rarely ever puts a game on sale like
No.
a AAA title.
I don't think they like ever put games on sales.
Breath of the Wild is still $60. They will put
yeah.
some sales on Mario Day, but it's like $10 off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steam's great
sure,
for that.
You can buy a Steam game that came out $60 for like $15 sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, something I just learned by doing all this research: Valve is based in Bellevue, Washington. Did you guys know that?
Wow.
Represent.
Bellevue, Washington.
Let's go kick on their door and tell them to make a new CSGO.
Yeah. That's sick, though. I didn't know they were in Washington. There's a lot of companies in Washington that you don't know about near Seattle.
For sure.
A lot of software and stuff.
I feel like Washington doesn't get enough attention. Like people don't even know that it exists.
Yeah.
Anyways,
We got apples,
that's our take on the Steam Deck.
cherries. Oh, sorry.
We've said what we've said. We'd love to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think, if you're going to get it or not. Let us know in the Discord as well. And yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I think there's going to be more news to come before it comes out, but we'll let you guys know if any more news comes out.
Oh, and we forgot to say, it's released in December, which I think is awesome that they just released it now and they're going to release it. Like they just announced it and now they're going to release it 6 months later. So I think that's really cool.
For sure.
So look forward to that.
I respect when that happens.
Yeah.
I hate it when it's like 2 years from now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just forget about it.
And you can pre-order it for $5 right now if you want to. So
Don't do it.
run away. Just kidding.
Pre-ordering is just damaging. Anyway, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, we can. All right. Have a good one, guys. Deuces.
See ya.
Bless you.